A lot of people ask us what's the difference between the IMF and the World Bank.
So let's break down some of the key similarities and differences between the two organizations. At its core, the World Bank is about advancing human development and societal progress. Its actual mission is ending poverty and boosting shared prosperity on a livable planet. It really reflects the commitment that the World Bank has unabashedly to climate change and to sustainability and well-being for all. At the same time, our friends at the IMF seem to be arguing among themselves as to what extent and how to address some of these macro-critical issues.
The IMF has, of course, got the important job to do, safeguarding global financial stability. The IMF's job is to prevent episodes like during the Great Depression, when everybody tried to devalue their currency against each other. It's there to safeguard global financial stability by supervising, or if the IMF calls it surveilling, the economic policies of its members, and where necessary to provide some temporary credit for countries that could not otherwise avoid a sharp depreciation.
The World Bank prioritizes investments in and initiatives for both people and planet at both macro and micro levels in a way that advances inclusive growth and societal well-being that benefits all. This means improving health, infrastructure, education, and governance. It also means reducing inequality, especially for women and girls, and it means being ready to take advantage of the green and digital transitions.
Back in the 1990s, there was talk of merging the IMF and the World Bank. But back then, the head of the IMF, Michel Camdessus, said, "I have no intention of taking over the World Bank." Well, if you read the communiques nowadays, you actually see a lot of similarities. Both institutions work on climate, for example, and development issues.
So some might be surprised to learn that the bank is actually the World Bank Group, comprising 5 agencies that work together as both a money bank and a knowledge bank. And while economists dominate, the staff is necessarily an interdisciplinary team of experts, skilled evaluators, managers, and people that implement projects around the world.
IMF staff are serious economists. They love running their models on everything. A bit like meteorologists, with about the same track record.
Some say the bank has a United Nations feel to it. I get that. It's colorful and vibrant and has a sense of diversity in everything from the languages spoken, the national dress, to the culinary delights you might find in the cafeteria.
IMF people are definitely dressing smarter than bank staff. Wearing suit and tie because you might always be called in to meet the finance minister was what they were told in the old days. Nowadays, it's a bit more casual, a bit like California startup, cool but successful. But the IMF is still a place with a unique sense of purpose. The collaboration is strong. You can always pick up a phone and call anybody in another department to get some information about a country that you might need. But just be careful and don't get across them on the interdepartmental soccer tournament.
At the same time, the sense of commitment to and the seriousness of the mission is palpable, and innovation and creativity are increasingly celebrated, especially as the reforms and the evolution agenda are bringing tighter coordination and a one World Bank ethos.
So the IMF and World Bank people are like a family, kind of like in-laws. They know each other well. They know about their strengths and the bank's weaknesses, and they know where everybody lives. So the annual meetings are like Thanksgiving then. You dress up in your Sunday best, you share the same driveway, and you only kick people under the table. But once everybody's gone, you still talk to each other, definitely, whenever you have to.
Happy to say I think Martin has this one right. Though there may be an eclectic aunt or uncle around the table that has their own ideas, at the end of the day, there is meaningful collaboration and partnership between the two. And I'd like to believe real mutual respect for each other's work.